Hello and welcome to Today in the News on Vanguard Live. I am Precious Chukudi. We begin with the front pages of the papers this morning. Starting off with Vanguard. Vanguard is leading with petrol. Oil marketers propose 550 naira per litre price to Dangote. Rider says the talks ongoing over price margins. Others, and that's coming from marketers. And let's enjoy benefit of domestic refining, and that's coming from expert consumers. Sector-wide impact expected, and that's coming from CPPE. Refinery owners task the federal government on $1 billion fund. On page 26, mistakes Nigeria made, and that's coming from General Ike Wanchuku. Yusuf to Ganduje, you speak of failures after 8 years of misrule. You can read that on page 9. Terrorist kill army lieutenant, wound 4 soldiers. You can see that on page 9. Edo Guba, communities commend Obaseki task him on more roads to ease campaign. And of course, stories above electricity metering will enhance investment growth in power sector. That's coming from the higher boss. And NPAN, NGE, NUJ bonds, CSOs, others seek probe of journalists' detention. And of course, a Monday interview, tariff hike, how we are solving Nigeria's power problem by Adilabu. We take a look at the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian is leading with road to 500 billion naira recapitalization. Bank owners lobby seek adjustment in share capital composition. We can see an infograph on that report. Naira's defense, debt servicing gulp 1.4 trillion naira as foreign reserves dip. Gavi Alliance initiates a $1 billion program to boost vaccine production in Africa. Electricity tariff hike. SCCPC orders pressure federal government to revert decision. APC leaders allege plots to disrupt Ondo primaries. And focus on fixing Nigeria's problems, not Labour Party's internal crisis, says Obi. Yusuf knocks Ganduje over criticism of administration. And on page 5, criminals in camouflage, how rising impersonation of operative complicates internal security. Take a look at the Punch newspaper. The Punch is leading with federal government plans 3 national ID cards for 104 million Nigerians in June. Rider says the NIMC awaits a presidential approval for May launch, says procurement will be seamless. Nigerians to get different e-cards for banking, social intervention, ECOWAS activities. Salah, federal government declares Tuesday, Wednesday holidays as Tinubu arrives Lagos. Female London solo driver gets heroic welcome. Indian bound the trafficker vomits, excretes 80 cocaine wraps in Lagos airport. Stories above, dollar video, release report of Ganduje's probe. Kano tells EFCC. $2.3 billion Siemens power project transformer substation arrives in Nigeria. And lastly, on the front page of the Punch newspaper, OPS takes power tariff hikes protest to Tinubu. And that's how we can take on the front pages of the papers. Join us after the break. We'll be right back. Alright, welcome back. If you're just joining, still today in the news of Vanguard Live, I am Precious Chukudi. Joining me to talk about some of the stories on the front pages of the papers this morning is Mr. Aliyu Mohammed, CEO of Magnet Communications, also former editor of Daily Times and Concord Newspapers. Good to have you join me this morning, sir.
Good morning, Precious. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Alright, let's delve in, and we're talking about petrol, oil prices, and according to reports, Dangote Refinery and oil marketers have intensified, efforts at taking final decisions on pricing and delivery of petrol nationwide. And the independent marketers are saying that they proposed about 550 naira per liter to Dangote refineries. What's your take on
550 naira, you said. That's too high. It's still too high. I know we can't get to the level that we were before. Unfortunately, there is this proverb that whatever goes up in Nigeria doesn't come down, and that is becoming glaring now. I was expecting that petrol will come to nothing less than 300 naira, or at most 350, 400. But now they are talking about 550 at a time Dangote refineries got crude from the NNPC, even though we read that they attempted to import some crude oil. Nonetheless, the crude that they got through the NNPC should be considered enough to have a good reduction in the pump prices of petroleum products in Nigeria. I'm not talking about petrol alone, all the products, diesel, petrol, base oil, that's engine oil, and the rest, aviation fuel. A flight from Lagos to Abuja now is over about 250,000 one way. It is extremely high, and people should bring it down. The resultant effect of such a hike in price is that there will be very low patronage of the airlines, because not many people can afford to spend almost $500,000 on any trip to Abuja, considering the fact that if you don't have a home in Abuja or a friend that you can stay with in Abuja, you will have to contend with very expensive hotels, very expensive food, and all that. That means if you are going on a trip, a business trip to Abuja, you must have not less than between 800 and 1 million. I don't know how many Nigerians can afford that. But then, what is good is good. And I think government should come in at this stage to compel all private refineries, not only Dangote refineries, because the Port Harcourt refinery is also coming on stream with refined petroleum products now. All the refineries must be compelled to relieve the masses of the heavy burden that they are bearing as a result of the hike in the prices of petroleum products in Nigeria today. That burden is heavy. Some people have died as a result of that burden. Some people cannot even feed. So, you know, when you reduce the price